So with the Tachyon Anomaly event recently coming to a close, and with the Black Widow Red Room event right around the corner, I thought I'd talk about my thoughts about the event and what I hope events can be going forward. So for those who don't know, in a nutshell, the Tachyon Anomaly event basically just lets players play as the same hero as one another, and also it gives you a couple of missions, and that's pretty much the basis of what the event is. And on surface level, I was really excited, that all sounded really cool, and I thought it might really help matchmaking to have, you know, the ability to play as multiple characters and not be limited to just have to pick around what other people are playing. I thought it would help queue time, stuff like that, and I wasn't very right. But I wasn't wrong either. I myself was playing on PC and did manage to get into a couple of games and got some of those quests done. But I'll be honest with you, it wasn't easy. With the event, we didn't hit new player peaks on Steam or anything like that. A couple people logged back in, but, you know, nothing groundbreaking here. Queues for certain modes were still extremely long, but Quick Match did help me get into those games, and with the added Tachyon Anomaly events where you run around and add time to your timer, that mode actually did help with the queue times I found. However, I did kind of feel a little more limited to play certain characters than I would usually. I almost feel more limited to select characters that other people are playing because I want to get those missions done. And these missions being locked behind multiplayer in a nutshell is kind of painful, honestly, because queue times are rough. But with that being said, I do hope that this sticks around as a matchmaking thing because it does improve matchmaking overall, and without these quests to limit my choices, I think it would be an overall positive change for the video game as a whole. Not that much, and certainly not more than, you know, a player base, but it's a step in the right direction. At this point, I'll take the smallest of improvements and run with it because, like, come on, man. Now, about those quests that I was talking about, because they're so hard to get done because you need to get into matchmaking, you'd think they would be some pretty sick rewards behind those quests, right? I'll tell you, when I saw that list of quests, I was like, holy shit, there's so much to do, this is exciting, this is awesome, this is what I wanted, and then I realized what the reward was, and, yeah, I was a little disappointed, I'll be honest with you. During the 2 weeks of the event, when you complete one of these missions, you get an animated nameplate, and if you complete any of the other ones beyond that, you'll get some loot, specifically priority set pieces. Now, that's fine. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, it's not crazy cool. It doesn't really push me to want to complete all of these because there's nothing that unique behind any one of them. Well, what should the rewards have been then? Well, honestly, credits would be pretty sick. Allow me to buy some skins without having to spend money. Give me patterns so I can unlock skins without having to spend money. Maybe like some more unique pieces of loot that change a little more of how the game plays. Like, I don't know, something extremely time travel themed because that's, you know, the point of the event. Give it some flavor. Honestly, I don't know, but I can tell you that they probably shouldn't have been locked behind matchmaking like that because the matchmaking was so damn hard to get into. Jesus Christ, man. I cannot believe how hard it was to get into a goddamn game. Like, seriously, it got to a point where matchmaking was the hardest part of the game. It wasn't fighting a boss, it wasn't beating a challenge, it wasn't doing my dailies, it was queuing into a lobby, and that's a problem. Now, not only was there not that much new content because I didn't feel the drive to complete these quests, they also took away old content. They're facing some issues with the Mega Hive, specifically around progression being reset when you complete a Mega Hive, so they took it down so that people's progression doesn't get reset, which is totally reasonable, but it does limit the amount of things to do in the game, and people already think there's not enough to do in the game. The timing on this is, of course, absurdly unfortunate, like, come on. But with all that being said, I do think the event had some really positive things going for it. I think the time travel theme fits really well into the story. I think that's awesome. It's a really cool, flavorful way of letting you play with the same characters. Opening up Tachyon Rifts to lower level players is awesome because I honestly never made it that far. It didn't keep my interest to get to that point. So seeing what they were all about for the first time was really cool for me. And like I said, Tachyon Rift specifically really helped with matchmaking, and I found a lot of Tachyon Rift games pretty easily. So that was really cool to see. Ooh, full squad! 1 Iron Man, 3 Hawkeyes, this
You're heading into another type.
Now, how do I feel about the Black Widow Red Room Harm Room themed event coming out in the second week of May? I think that these events will be pretty fun to play, honestly, and I think that if they can integrate more narrative into these events, I'll be very excited for that, because that's my favorite part of this video game. No cap, 100%. Easiest thing I've ever said in my life. And I think there's a bit more potential for both the Red Room and Cosmic Cube themed events because I think they will have more narrative to them. With the Black Widow Endgame skin dropping with her event, I think we could see some really interesting, potentially MCU-driven events in the future, especially when I think about multiversal events. Think kind of like Maestro, how he's like a future version of the Hulk that went nuts. That can't be our timeline. That has to be a different universe, because we are going to stop that Kree invasion and stop Maestro from existing in our timeline. So it's not that far of a stretch to me that we have similar universes out there themed to, you know, maybe the MCU, perhaps? My point is that I can see them laying seeds for multiverse-style events where we see different versions of these characters than the ones that are in our game, right? Maestro is just the only example we have of that so far. And I guess technically Old Man Hawkeye as well. But I think stopping the Kree invasion will open us up to some really interesting multiverse-themed plots when we get there. And whether they pull those different versions of the characters from the MCU, or from comic books, or from wherever, I think we'll see some interesting things. Oh, and if we don't get a Thanos event eventually, and Ant-Man isn't in the game by then, and there isn't this interaction between those two characters, I mean, I'm just gonna be super disappointed, and honestly, I'll probably cry. I mean, think about it. You shoot Ant-Man on an arrow, team combo move style, at Thanos' butthole, and you unlock Easter egg victory, where he goes up there and just erupts from the inside of Thanos, and we get the endgame ending we should have truly gotten. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, what did you guys think of the Tachyon Anomaly event? Do you have hope for future events? Tell me in the comments, please, I need to know. And I wanted to take a moment here to just really thank you guys for the support on the last video. It's been awesome. It's been crazy to see that, like insane to see that. If you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's like 99% of you aren't doing that. Like, what is wrong with you? I appreciate those of you that did though. You guys are really cool, you know that? Anyway, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I got some Tachyon anomalies to pick up off the ground. Quantum physics and entanglement playing a part in that, and yeah, I just really gotta deal with that, man. I gotta sweep up my tachyons, put them into my quantum broom, and throw them out of the boom tube tunnel trash can. Yeah. Bye.